Hi, everybody, and welcome. I am joined by Sam in the studio, and today we are having a chat with Paul and Tim from Workhouse
Workhouse
Games.
games, yeah.
Yes, it's one of those things. I'm terrible with names this early in the morning, and they are creating a game called Awful Orphanage. So, guys, would you maybe like to give us a bit of an intro into what exact kind of madness you are creating here?
Well, the Awful Orphanage is a game where kids get to kill grown-ups, all set in a nice kind of dark and horrendous Victorian orphanage, filled with Lovecraftian magic and just weird and wonderful kids and kind of strange stuff happening. So yeah, we wanted to create a game whereby you had to purposely annoy your friends, and you could maybe lose those friendships by the end of 45 minutes to an hour.
Sold.
Yeah. Well, you talk about we never annoy anyone in here.
It started off as a cooperative game, but because of his preferences game-wise, it changed to a non-cooperative, very non-cooperative game.
Very non-cooperative. Okay, I
Yeah.
like that
Yeah,
term.
that sounds very good. Okay, so can you give us an idea? Where did you get the inspiration for this game?
Well, it all came out. Tim, obviously, he came out with this phrase a little while ago, a good while ago now. But he just had this character called the Gaunt and Sinister Man.
Popped into my head from watching too many Tim Burton films and things like that.
Yeah, it is very Tim Burton with the art style.
Yeah. But he said this phrase, and immediately it kind of conjured up these images of a Victorian orphanage and taking away kids, kind of child catcher style, and just this world kind of built around it. Eventually, as Tim said, it was going to be a nice cooperative game where you all had to fight him and kind of, you all win, yay! But that's boring. What I really wanted was people to hate you by the time you'd finished.
Slightly strong.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've played some games where people have walked away from the table not exactly best pleased with me for some of my tactics.
Oh well, them's the breaks.
Yeah.
Yep, such
Yeah.
is life. Okay, well,
Yeah.
can you take us through pretty much the basic premise of how a game is going to run start to finish? So where the orphans begin, where they're hopefully going to end up. What is the key goal to this game?
Okay, so that we have a board, which is, how large is it, would you say? It's roughly 2 foot by
Yeah.
foot and a half, say. And we have, 4-inch square rooms?
Yeah.
And 1.5-inch square corridors, which you place. The board starts off with, in one corner, the orphan's attic bedroom, which is where all the orphans start. And in the other corner is Miss Prendergast's office. And you have to get to Miss Prendergast's office having equipped yourself with one of the flintlock pistols that reside within the orphanage.
And who is Miss
I don't know why
Prendergast?
there are flintlock pistols residing in an orphanage, but if you kind of think of sort of old relics mounted on a wall without the intention of them ever firing or whatever, whatever, as just as decoration. But one of the orphans is quite good with his hands and has managed to actually make them work. So the reason that they're trying to get to Miss Prendergast to offer, basically, is because she is killing orphans.
Oh,
Yeah. Partly for money, because she claims money from the parish. This is kind of set in
1888.
1888, which was the year that the London Underground was started, which we may come on to for other reasons
that's
later in the
interesting.
conversation. 1888. So she's taking money from the parish, the council, whatever you want to call, for looking after the orphans, keeping the gutter snipes off the street. Obviously, she's got a finite number of beds and what have you. There's an infinite number of gutter snipes in Victorian London. So she keeps bringing them in, but she needs to make room to keep bringing them in. So they're getting removed. And into this scenario comes this guy, who's the Gaunt and Sinister. He's a creature of nightmare, not of this world.
Uncle
Again,
Chris?
for reasons that we may come on to shortly. And he prowls around the orphanage along with a bunch of orderlies. These guys,
You know,
orphanage
Justin,
orderlies.
if you
They're
just
just kind of
shaved off the
stupid.
bottom of your beard, maybe you could.
Oh no, don't make me an orderly.
Stretch goals.
Yeah, there we
Oh,
go.
no,
There
don't
we
do it,
go.
don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. he's basically kind of from, if you like, World of Cthulhu, kind of the other side, whatever you want to call it. And obviously, the souls of orphans help to, bring further nightmare creatures from wherever he comes from. So that's where they're trying to do it. The orphans, well, they could cooperate and work together, but that's no fun. And clearly, as they're all born in the gutter, none of them trust each other. Trust is a thing that is entirely alien to them. Mm-hmm. So they're just basically all working single-handedly to kill Miss Prendergast and escape.
Okay.
And that's basically it in a nutshell.
Okay.
Large nutshell. Waffly. There we go.
Well, I mean, one thing I do wonder about is how you're going to actually take this to the tabletop. What some of the key mechanics to the game are going to be. So, would you be able to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. Absolutely. Basically, each player, they will take control of an orphan, and each orphan has their own unique kind of special ability. So we've got orphans like Lickety Split, for example. Where's she? There she is. So Lickety Split is, kind of 9-10-year-old little girl, but she can run faster than everyone else. And her special ability is that she can move a couple of extra spaces. Then we have orphans, for example, like Duffer, or Duffer. Here he is. Who is, well, he's not one for words, really. He much prefers having a fight. So when things happen where orderlies are coming to try and nab you, he's a bit better at getting rid of them. So you start off by picking your orphan. We've got 6 to choose from. And then you create the board as you go with the rooms and tiles and corridors that we provide with the game.
So there are 3 rooms that start on the board. So we've got the attic bedroom, Miss Prendergast, and in the middle we've got a double-sized room, the dining room, or the refectory, whatever you want to call it. But the rest, they're all placed.
Yeah. So every time you play the game, it's completely random. There are 2 rooms that when they come out or when they get placed by the players, they cause really bad things to happen. Like they summon the Gaunt and Sinister Man, or it's the Orderlies' Rest Room where Orderlies are sitting waiting for you and they'll start to patrol the game. But all the other rooms, you can search inside them. And when you search, you take a stuff card. And those stuff cards, or a loot card, sorry, and those loot cards, they can give you items. They can give you a catapult to help you fight. They can give you a bit of broken brick that you can whack an orderly around the head with. Or they can give you things like marbles, which you can drop on the floor to really annoy your friends as they come skedaddling past you. Or you can use them to send the orderlies backwards, to smash them into a wall. Then we've got things like the creepy clown kid, who he's one of those weird kids, but he always wears clown makeup, and he's in the dark corners of the orphanage.
He's kind of like the Gaunt and Sinister. He was a sort of an early attempt at summoning the Gaunt and Sinister Man that went wrong.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's just this kid that looks like a clown that just comes and stares at you and just completely unnerves anybody that comes anywhere near him. And you just have no choice but to turn around and go away.
That kind of sounds like me when I go to a con.
I've got to say, I find that scarier than the Gaunt and Sinister Man, and I've been a clown.
It's specifically, I think, it being a kid kind of wigs me out even more. It's just, I can imagine him standing in the corner, just kind of staring at you, and you kind of go nope and go the other way, really, because you don't want to go that way.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of imagine him just having this tiny little voice going, "Oh, that way. Come and have a look in this room. There's wonderful toys in here."
Exactly. Exactly.
No.
So yeah, we've got that. We've got Miss Prendergast's dog can make an appearance, who will call the orderlies to her. Apart from the Gaunt and Sinister Man, because in the kind of fluff and background, he hates that dog, so he gets pushed away from the dog if the dog comes out onto the board. But then there are cards, like I say, with itching powder and roller skates, and that you can use them to annoy your friends, make them drop items, because a couple of the cards in there are the guns. And if you get those guns, it's time to get yourself over to Miss Prendergast's office as quickly as you can, because you'll win the game. So all your friends, you're kind of playing a game of poker, whereby you're trying not to give away the fact you've got the gun, because they're trying to play cards to completely ruin your turn. So that's the Awful Orphanage.
Excellent.
This sounds fun, because I can imagine me having a gun in my hand and Sam notices that I'm starting to make a beeline for her office. And then just goes, Wait a minute, you're getting a little close to her office there. What's going on here?
Time to lay down some marbles.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
we
And
heard that
you can
you
also-
recently got Gav Thorpe on board as well. Can you tell us what sort of thing he'll be doing?
Well, we're both old school 40k nerds. To be honest, I was
Warhammer Fantasy.
Yeah, Warhammer Fantasy as well. But I was playing 40k since Rogue Trader, and kind of Gav was this luminary figure. So with second edition and things like that. So I spoke to him and kind of explained the premise of it, and he was really into the whole world that we're trying to build. So he's one of the greatest writers at kind of bringing. And that's what we needed. So after a couple of chats with him, we've got a really good concept of where we're going with this game, the backstory for the game. So pretty much he's building the world for us, along with us. So he's in on it, and shaping everything that we come up with, which is lovely.
This sounds fun. This sounds really fun. I mean, I've always loved Gav Thorpe's writing.
Gav
in
is a
general.
great writer, yeah.
So it's to see him come in on a project like this. I'm very curious to see just what sort of arcs and changes we're going to see to it. Now, you guys mentioned the London Underground a little earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try and twist the arm a little bit here. Can you maybe give us a little more detail on
Yes,
that?
please. I'm fascinated by the Underground's history.
So the year is 1888. They've started digging out the London Underground.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of technology is advancing. However, I don't know what to say without giving it away too much, but balls to it. Basically the people digging out the London Underground break through into the Hollow Earth.
Oh.
The Hollow Earth exists, and it's real, and it's filled with weird eldritch magics and strange creatures and weird demons that
Gaunt and sinister men.
yeah, Gaunt and Sinister Men, for example, and the creepy clown kid, for example. So all the stories are 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Jules Verne, and the strange portals that were out in Nepal that people went out to go and explore. They were all true. So straight underneath the orphanage is the first breach to the Hollow Earth. And that's why this stuff starts to crack off around there. So the idea is we're leading in with the Awful Orphanage because it's a really nice concept, but we're going to go deeper into the Hollow Earth as we go.
Oh,
lovely.
Could we be seeing some of the stranger things from the Underground's history, like the Beast of Fleet Street, maybe?
Exactly.
It's entirely possible.
I'm going to need to go do some research.
Yes.
1888 is a wonderful year.
It is that.
Good old Saucy Jack was around and things like that. So yeah, spot on.
For me, I'm just expecting to maybe walk down an alleyway somewhere and find a gem of some form of non-Euclidean shape. Well, it does.
We'll just make a note of that one.
Oh damn!
There you go.
Damn it!
Yeah.
Joseph Bazalgette would be proud.
Yeah.
Gents, is there anything you want to get out there as well? Anything you think we haven't covered here, or do you think we're good?
I think we're getting there. I would just kind of probably throw into the conversation that despite the original idea for the game being mine, I've never actually won a game.
Yeah.
For the entire time that we've been playtesting it, I have never won a game.
You're too nice. That's your problem.
I came close once,
Oh.
but I actually found the gun once because we have a stack of loot cards, and usually I pick up things that are useless, like a mop, or we do have a number of items within the deck that on the face of it look useless, but they do have uses, but I won't go so much into it. But I did actually find the gun once.
Right.
But with my best poker face on, I kind of carried on rather than just heading straight for Miss Prendergast through him. I thought, I'm going to carry on searching for things, make him think that I haven't got the gun, and I summoned the Gaunt and Sinister Man straight into the room that I was in.
Oh.
He removed the gun from me, sent me back to the attic, and that was it. I never got a sniff of it again. So despite playing it, I don't know how many times, I am yet to win a game.
Oh. Best of luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Now,
Yeah.
is this a game coming direct to retail, or are you thinking Kickstarter? Just for information's sake.
So we launch on Kickstarter first and foremost on the 22nd of March. Then with a plan to move into retail, we're working with a few retailers already to kind of get those those balls moving. But Kickstarter is our first port of call, mainly for the reach, and I think the interest level of board games on Kickstarter at the minute is just better than it's ever been.
We've got to mention Neil from Leodis Games.
Yes, he's helping us out with the whole retail thing, bless him.
He's massively on board, and he would take it amiss if we didn't mention Leodis Games. So we are going to mention Leodis Games. Cheers, Neil.
Fantastic. Gents, thank you very much for coming in today. Everybody, keep your eyes peeled for the Awful Orphanage. They do have a Kickstarter page. If this has got you curious, make sure to go across. Give the page a like. It'll keep you up to date with all the latest and greatest news and let you know whenever that Kickstarter does go live. I want to hear what you guys think. I want to hear, do you think this is the kind of game that you and your mates are going to sit down and play and have a lot of fun with? I mean, like I can imagine us here in the office sitting down and really just aiming to screw each other over all day long.
Definitely. And of course, I am all into my Gothic Victoriana.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm all over this game.
Yeah, all right, everybody, tell you what, get your comments in below. We will see you in the next one.